Imagine you're giving your all to work, working early morning, late nights, meeting deadlines, doing everything right, sacrificing family gatherings just to meet up with work. And then one afternoon, you get an email telling you that your role has been terminated. No warning, no fault, just gone. And right in that second, you realize that the whole concept of job security or having a full time job was truly just an illusion. And it doesn't matter whether you worked a few years or you worked a donkey years, it could literally happen to anyone. Because it did happen to me. I remember the very first day, or the very first time, I would say, when I got terminated. I was sick for like 2 days from the shock. But now, the only thing that helped me at that point in time was the fact that I got a job the next week. But that taught me one thing. That made me realize that a full time is just full time on paper. It doesn't mean anything because that organization that you work for could change direction. Right now, there's the whole noise about AI, right? People are worried AI is taking jobs. So many big organizations are laying people off. So right now, it's not a matter of, oh, I'm very good at my job. Oh, I'm very valuable. Yes, you could be valuable, but yet you could still get that email. You could still get terminated. And that's when you realize that I can't keep relying on this 9 to 5 job. And one thing I want you to realize today is there is a way out. And you can always have a plan. And you don't have to come up with a plan after you get kicked out. You need to have a plan before anything happens. And that could be you walking away from a job or the job walking away from you. Like I shared earlier, the first time it happened, I was in so much shock that I was sick for about 2 days. Now, the next time it happened, like I said, it didn't happen just once. The next time it happened, I was in a much better state. Now, one thing made this difference, even though I was still shocked, right? Because, hey, nobody wants to lose a paycheck. But there was a huge difference between the first time I got terminated and the second time I got terminated. And the difference was the second time, I'd already started to build multiple income streams for myself. So I didn't rely entirely on my 9 to 5 job, even though that was a six-figure salary that was good, right? I'd already built up myself. I built up my business. I had other things that were going and working for me, which gave me so much confidence. So the second time I received that news, even though it still came with a shock, I got over it pretty quickly because I was like, okay, you know what? What next? What should we be doing, right? And this is the message I want to share with you today. This video is your wake up call. If you're a working professional, you're a mature working professional where you earn six figures, this message is particularly important for you because you have so much at stake. You've built a beautiful life around that wonderful salary. Don't let that paycheck be the only income stream that you have. It's quite risky. And it doesn't matter if you feel like you are the best thing since sliced bread. 6,000 people just got laid off last week. I was reading the news. 14,000 people got laid off in UPS or whatever the case might be. So you don't know when it could be you. And even though we're not praying for that to be you, it's better for you to be prepared. So what must you do? Because I'm sure you're thinking, okay, yes, I've been thinking about it. I want to do something else, but what could I possibly do? There are 1,001 things that you could be doing, but there's one thing that I am experienced at, and I'm experienced at monetizing skill set. I have monetized over 5 skill set and counting today. And that's one thing I can tell you as a working professional that you can also monetize. Okay. You've been working in that company for ages, probably. You have a skill set, you've built so much experience. So there's definitely something that you can monetize. Now, let me share a few of the things that I am able to monetize so that way it could get you thinking into, some of the things that you should consider for yourself. In the corporate world, I used to be an agile coach, or I am an agile coach, a projects manager, whatever name you want to call it, right? And one of the things I started doing a few years ago was Once I realized how good I was in that field, I started to teach other people who wanted to become scrum masters and, who wanted to become project managers. And I monetized that skill set by teaching other people. I was able to create courses, webinars, programs that people were able to enroll in. I became a mentor and coach to people, and I earned money from doing that. So think through, where you work right now. What skill set do you have? Who are the other people that you can possibly be training to become as good as you are? That's one thing you could consider. Now, I did this for a couple of years, and after a while, I got bored, right? Because I'd kicked off, several businesses. And then after a while, I'd learned so much from, running a business, starting a business, growing a business. And I started to teach other people who wanted to kickstart their business, right? So I started to teach people, how to structure their business, how to grow their business, how to live a life where their business is not dependent on them because I had a full-time job and I was building all of these businesses. And there were other people who also had, full-time jobs. They wanted to have other businesses, but they didn't know how to start. So I became the go-to, right? Now, another skill set that I have is interior design. I have a thing for, interior design. I'm very creative in that space. And so I started to design my own spaces, right? After I designed a couple of spaces, I started to, post them on social media, post them on my WhatsApp, status, and people, saw it and people appreciated my work. And guess what? I landed a major client from there and I executed a $60,000 project just by doing that. And I got to monetize my interior design skill set. Now, why am I telling you all of this? It means that there is something that you have that other people need. And it's not only your 9 to 5 skill set, because guess what? I have never worked a day in my life as an interior designer. I'd only done that for myself in my private spaces and in the businesses that I ran. But I was able to get so good in that skill set that I turned that into a business and I got myself a client and I got a big client at that. And I did a fantastic job. If I say so myself, because my client loves my project and so many people who got to experience it actually love it. So it's not just, the corporate skill set that you have. It could be the passion that you have. Whatever it is that you have, put it all together, review it, and see what the world needs. And that could pinpoint you into things that you could get started today. Okay? Like I said, it's been about 5 skills that I've monetized, and I keep finding new skill set to monetize. And I just want you to know that you don't have to stay stuck in that 9 to 5 job. It's okay for you to have that job because believe me, if you're a six-figure, working professional, that money is good. Having that money consistently month after month is amazing. You can actually use that to kick off your business. You could use it to do a lot of things because that's what I did. I've gone into real estate. I have a real estate portfolio. I was able to start, so many businesses. I'm actually on my sixth business right now, all thanks to having that consistent income from the 9 to 5 world. But guess what? It doesn't have to define you. Your 9 to 5 doesn't have to be the only thing that you have. So if you've, been thinking and you just don't know how to start or where to start, this is that wake up call. So I want to quickly share 3 things that could get you going so that you know exactly what to do going forward. I want you to take time to just kind of like document all the things that you're good at, all the experiences that you have. Document all of that on a piece of paper. Review them to prioritize in terms of like, okay, how important are this skill set, right? Once you've done that, the next thing I want you to do is do a quick search in terms of like, how valuable are this skill set? What's the market of the skill that I have? Because there will be some skill set that you have that are more valuable or the market is an high demand of it than, others. So you don't necessarily want to go start something that there's no demand for because at the end of the day, the reason why you want to monetize that skill set is to be able to make money while solving a problem, right? So make sure that you do your research. How big is this market? How many people need the skill set that I have? Who are the other people in this field that are doing wonders in the industry, right? Who are already making waves in the industry that I can learn from and, kind of structure my business around. It's very important. And once you nail that down to the one skill set that you want to monetize, then it's time for you to draft your own plan. Who's your target audience going to be? What's the transformation you want to give to them? What problem do you want to solve? What is the biggest pain point of that target audience? And how can I solve that problem? Once you craft all of that, that becomes your offer. Once you have your offer, the next thing is for you to start telling the entire world about it, right? You can start by sharing that on any of your social media platforms, telling your friends when you see them. You can start by even sharing with your colleagues because you never know, depending on what skill set you have. Somebody else in the workplace might actually have a need for it, but nobody's going to know if you don't get started. So, this is the assignment I have for you today. One, take a deep reflection and think through all of your experiences, all the skill set that you've built over the years, and prioritize them. Two, do a market research to understand which has the biggest market, where is the biggest need, where is the biggest pain point, what should I prioritize, and what should I focus on right now. Once you nail that down, the third thing will be for you to then craft your offer. Who is my target audience? What is their biggest pain point? What am I trying to solve for them? What transformation am I going to give to these people? And where am I going to take them to? Once you're able to nail down these three things, trust me, you are better than 50% of other working professionals that are still stuck, still thinking, and not doing anything because you'd have kickstarted a journey that is about to transform your life. Now, there's one thing I'd like to share with you because I know that I have been there, right? Now, it sounds all easy because I have reiterated the steps over and over again over the last 10 years. So now it's second nature to me, but it might not be second nature to you because it's your first time giving it a try out. So if you need help, I want you to reach out to me, drop a message in the comments, send me an email, send me a DM, wherever it is that you find me, send me a message. And if you need help, I will be more than willing to help you because my mission and my goal is to share the good news and let working professionals know that there is life outside of 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is beautiful. The job is, the pay is amazing if you have a good job. But your purpose and your passion and your gift and your calling is much bigger than that 9 to 5. There's so much more about you. There's so much that you can be doing to this world. Imagine if the likes of, Elon Musk, the likes of, the owner of Facebook, and the likes of, Jeff, and the likes of all of these great organizations that we're experiencing today. Imagine if they never left their 9 to 5 job, if they stayed stuck there. Would we enjoy some of the things we enjoy today? Would we enjoy social media today? Would we enjoy Amazon today? There's so many things that we would not be enjoying if these people did not take that courageous step to step outside of the 9 to 5 cycle and figure out what else can I be doing? And that's the quest I have for you today. What else could you be doing? And why can't you start right now? And if you need help, I repeat, because I know that you will need help. You need help to kickstart it so that way you don't give up along the line. You don't get overwhelmed and say, you know what, it's too much. I'm not going to work about it. I'm not going to do anything about it. So please reach out to me. I will be more than willing to help you break through that cycle and get you started on that journey where you're now able to multiply your income stream. All right, guys, thank you so much for spending this wonderful time with me. I'm super excited to be back on YouTube. Thank you so much for all my subscribers. Please make sure that if you watch this video and you're yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share in your community, and make sure that you come back same time next week for another episode where we're going to be deep diving into how you could own your finances and own your future. I'll see you guys next time, and I remain Yinka Okunlade. Bye, guys.